Hey everybody, I am hoping that you can hear me loud and clear. Please put into the chat if you're here and you can see me, whether you can hear me. I've got a whole new setup, so new camera and, well, new to me camera, and new sound as well. So I just want to make sure that it's working, so just give me the thumbs up. Even if you're hearing the recording later or taking a look at the recording later, please just sort of give a thumbs up that the sound is okay, so I know for my next recording. So why am I here today? Well, it's Valentine's Day, and I wanted to wish everyone a very happy Valentine's. And I've got a question for you. What do you think it is? Who do you think is the most important Valentine on this Valentine's Day? Well, I'll let you wait. You can put it into the chat. Even if it's afterwards, like in the recording, feel free to put it in the chat. Who the most important person should be on Valentine's Day? Your most important Valentine. Most important Valentine should be you. Okay? And here's why. First, if you have self-love, if you have been able to cultivate that self-love, then a number of things happen. First of all, you become far more resilient. So you're not looking for outside love from other people and that affirmation from other people in order to feel worthy. So that's one huge piece, is increased resilience. But the second piece that people really do overlook is when you have self-love, when you have cultivated that worthiness, then what happens is you create a place for love to land. Okay, I'm going to say that again. When you have self-love, you create a place for love to land. So what do I mean about that? Well, when people don't necessarily love themselves and they're seeking love from other places, it's kind of like they're a mountain. Like, let's just imagine, you know, Mount Everest, right? It's a big, steep peak, takes a lot of energy in order to climb and be there. It takes a lot of energy to get to that place. And when you have self-love, hey Bess, when you have self-love, it basically makes it an easier meadow in order to navigate. So if you don't necessarily have your own self-love, then you're back to that Everest piece. And then people who are wanting to be able to get close to you are kind of like airplanes. Like they're flying around. I was just imagining this morning while I was having my coffee. It's just like big 747s flying around, and they're trying desperately to be able to connect with you and show you that love, but there's no place to land on Mount Everest. But if you have that self-love, you're able to make that flatter plane, that easier place to access, and then love has a place to land. And I think one of the things that was really telling in my own experience was I watched a video, and anyone who's seen some of my other videos will know I watched a video back from the 80s, and there was a lot going on in that day, and I was playing the piano. I'm not a very good pianist. I actually did pretty good that day, and all I wanted was the attention and affection from my family. And when I watch the video now, after all of the self-development, after all of the self-love that I have provided for myself, suddenly there was a place for that love that was given me that day to land. And honestly, that day I remember being like, look, see, Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. I do all this energy, all of this stuff, and still I don't get the attention and love that I want. Oh my God, it was overflowing that day, but it didn't have a place to land. I was the mountain. I was Everest. There was no place to land. So when we cultivate that self-love, it really does shift and change things. We will notice and we will allow people to be able to come into our lives and truly be part of it. So how do you do that? Well, there's a few different ways. There's a few different ways. A whole bunch of self-development and a lot of support. And any of you who are going through the process of that, it's painful, it is work, but it's so worth it. One thing that I've noticed through my experience as a life coach and through my own self-development is people have strength in different areas. I'm more of a visual, so I like to imagine and visualize and that kind of thing. So just to give you an example of what worked for me was I had imagined as a child that my worthiness or my self-love was like a little shack. Okay, and I'm just thinking back to this little shack. I really need to take a picture of one that I sort of have in mind. And I always wanted other people to be able to add to that shack and make it beautiful and all of those kinds of things. And I was never satisfied with the work that other people did on it. And then one day I was working with one of the coaches that I've worked with Jim. He actually went to the same school as mine. And hi, Jim, if you see this in recording. We went through this whole piece of worthiness, and there was that realization that if I was to renovate that, my own shack, my own self-love, what would it look like? And man, it just exploded. It just turned into this amazing place with big doors and open windows and nooks and crannies for all the things that were important to me. And whenever I had something that you know, I wanted put away, bam, all I had to do was just drop it and zoom, it went back to those places. The big waterfalls, open green spaces with butterflies, and it was just amazing. So when I have a day where I'm really struggling, it's like, you know what? I just need to go to my worthiness palace, just hang out there. Or if I'm disappointed with, you know, I wanted something to happen and it didn't happen, I go and hang out there. And man, it just shifts everything because it's that love from within. Now, you may not be a visual person, so that may not work for you, but you might be a kinesthetic person, so you want to be able to feel and do things. So, you know, one thing that I would encourage you to do, invite you to do, is to do the things that you love. And this can be for anybody, not just for kinesthetic people, but do the things that you love. When you are doing the things that bring you joy, it just shifts the energy in your entire body. It just shifts the way you look at the world. If you are an auditory person, then it might be listening to music or self-affirmations that really support you to be able to extend that joy around yourself and that love around yourself and create that resilience and be able to create that space where other love can land. So on that note, I wish you a very happy Valentine's Day, and sharing love and sharing the ability to be able to love yourself. Thanks so much. Hey, and Bessie, is my sound okay? You want to give me a thumbs up? Whether I've got good sound? Because I might be just talking here, you know, doing mime. Hi, Jeff. How's it going? So yeah, so I just wanted to thank you all for watching. And if you're watching the recording, if you have any questions, if you want to add anything into the chat, please feel free to. Also, feel free. Yeah. Thanks, Bess. So feel free to share this with anyone that you think it would give value to. And if you have any questions or you want to see more of these types of videos, please feel free to connect with me at Listening Tree Studio and Coaching. I'll put the link into the chat afterwards. And if you're seeing this on other social media and you don't have Facebook, feel free to contact me at listeningtreestudio.ca. Thanks so much. Bye, guys. Bye, Jeff.